Today is the anniversary day of the wedding, and I have allowed them to celebrate it because marriage is very important in Sahaja. It is one of the most important things for Sahaja Yoga that one should get married. Firstly, marriage always gives you a balance of understanding. If you have proper ideas about marriage, if you have funny ideas, and if you are just marrying for fun's sake, and you do not understand the value of marriage, then it is just a joke. It's not a marriage. But in Sahaja Yoga, you really understand the value of marriage first of all, what it is. And then, luckily today we are going to have some Sahaja Yoga weddings in which you will see how we try to conform to the divine laws of marriage and get married under those laws. Here I find in Australia as well as in other countries that marriage has lost its sanctity. People don't understand that by doing sin against the marriage, they are committing such great sins that many generations will have to suffer for this kind of thing. One has to understand that fidelity is the basis of marriage. If there is no fidelity, marriage has no meaning. If you are not capable of being fidel, that means you are not yet a human being. A human being has to be a fidel. In marriage, we confirm that the problem is over now. We have finished with the choices we had, and now we are going to settle down with one person. And the sharing of life, even absolutely private life, is with one person. So you have to be very much harmonized with that person and in complete understanding and loyalties to each other one has to do. Now the marriage is for the reproduction of the species, as they say. Now as you are another species, you are Sahajogis with a new awareness. Marriages between you will bring forth children of very high caliber. There are great saints who are anxious to get married, get birth on this earth. And if they find good Sahajogi husband and wife who love each other, are good progressive people in Sahaja Yoga who are dedicated to Sahaja Yoga, they would be definitely descending on this earth through you. So it is very important and imminent at this time that one should understand the value of the marriage of Sahaja Yoga. So many marriages have taken place before also. But what is the validity or what is the credibility of those marriages when the person who marries them in the name of God is not a realized soul? He has to be a realized soul to marry. He has no authority to marry in the name of God. All right, registration is a different thing altogether because they do not marry in the name of God, they marry in the name of a nation. But if you have to marry in the name of God, you must have a realized soul to do that. And one should understand every bit of the marriage that is performed, what you are doing, why you are doing. There are certain promises that are to be given. We have taken this marriage system from the old Vedic system, also changed it very much according to the Sahaja Yoga, where we have tried to use also certain ceremonies which are done in the churches and other religions. But mainly it is based on the Kundalini. So the promise is to the fire. In this marriage, the promise is to the fire. Because fire is the one that burns off all that is ugly. And Kundalini is also like a fire on one point, because that's the only energy that rises above. See, so like the fire goes upward, the Kundalini also rises upwards. That's why it is compared with the fire. But fire is the energy which is in the stomach, which is the dharma, which is the religion. The religion of the Sahaja Yogis is to keep in the center, not to go to extremes. And when they get married, by their understanding of Sahaja Yoga, they pull each other towards the center much more and enjoy themselves, the present moment and the present as it is. Sahaja Yoga marriages can be really fantastic if the Sahaja Yogis who marry are sensible, are equally balanced, or are not criticizing each other, not taking an upper hand. It is possible for one Sahaja Yogi to marry another one to gradually upgrade that Sahaja Yogi. It is possible also to degrade. If another Sahaja Yogi is more powerful or negative so much that it can degrade also another person. It depends on your quality to be upgraded or degraded. So marriage is a very big blessing in Sahaja Yoga, because all the gods and all the angels are watching these marriages, and they will see to it that these marriages are successful. But if you are bent upon making them unsuccessful because you still have the same kind of an awareness which you had before, and you want to go to the same, it can fail also, like animals. If you live with the animals, even human beings can become like animals. So the Sahaja Yogis must know that their awareness is changed, they are different people. They have to live with Sahaja Yogis and not with other human beings who are not yet realized. They can talk to them, but they must know that the Sahaja Yogis are at a very different level of awareness. If they realize this point, if they understand this simple point, that their awareness is very different, they would adjust much better in marriage life. There is no divorce in Sahaja Yoga. We do not think of as divorce, but there is nothing forced. I mean, if they fail to live together, it's a shame, but so far we have had no divorces. But as the people are coming from every sort of culture and thing, there is a possibility that people may like to divorce legally. But in Sahaja Yoga, there is nothing like divorce. But there is no force on anyone. One must try to understand marriage that it is for your enjoyment. If you cannot your enjoyment, you cannot enjoy the marriage, then it is of no use. In Sahaja Yoga, it is to be ensured that people enjoy their marriages and live very well, happily with each other. It is a responsibility of both the people in Sahaja Yoga. But say in my case, own case, my husband was not a realized soul, nor did he understood realization, nor was he a seeker. Despite all these, it would like to come to me, it was sitting in my lap. And despite all that, see, I didn't get upset or anything, I didn't push him, I didn't push anyone. I said gradually he will be able to see it through. So even if the person, another person is not a realized soul, one can manage it very well and can live very happily. But in case you get both the people realized, then it's a much better thing and should be enjoyed. But the interest should be in Sahaja Yoga. If you have other interests, then there could be problems. Because a Sahaja Yogi would not tolerate his wife, or a Sahaja Yogini would not tolerate her husband to waste his energy on nonsensical. And a new sort of conflict will start between Sahaja Yoga and the Sahaja Yogis and Sahaja Yoginis. So it should never be a matter of conflict Because we have so many now ways and methods of finding out what's the matter with us. And if there is anything wrong with us, we should try to face it and clear it up. We should not try to clear each other's chakras, but our own. Actually, we do not pay attention to ourselves. We start paying attention to others. Moreover, I must say that Sahaja Yoga marriages will be the most successful marriages. Have to. They will re-establish the institution of marriage on very sound basis. There is no doubt about it. And those who will be married in Sahaja Yoga will be really remarkably happy marriage couples. But there will be an attack of the negativity on them as soon as they get married. Because it is not a very happy thing for these negative forces to see that people are happily married. And they would try their level best to bring all sorts of problems, all sorts of complications in the beginning to see that these marriages are broken. And when you start playing into their hands, you will also be spoiling the chances of getting good realized souls to you, because they would not accept such situation. If you have been quarreling in the beginning also, it's not good, because you go down in their estimation. So you have to be very patient, very soft and good to each other, to see that you create an atmosphere of invitation for these great souls to come on this earth. And if that is not so, then they will wait. They will not incarnate, because they don't want to have parents who are quarreling, who are fighting, who are suspecting, who are troubling each other. Now, one has to know that Sahaja Yoga marriage has a precise reason. It is not you are marrying just out of fashion. You are marrying because you want to have children who are realized souls on this earth to come. We give them a place, parentage to do that. And if you do not understand the value of that marriage, then it is better not to be married in Sahaja. It is better to spare the Sahaja. There's only one snap in Sahaja is this, that you are all born of the same mother. So you are all brothers and sisters in a way. But when you are going to marry each other, then this point becomes a little funny, that how can a brother marry a sister? Now we can say like that I would say that it would be better if you marry not in the same community, but marry from somewhere else. At the most, a Sydney Sahaja Yogi should marry a Melbourne Sahaja Yogi. Some distance should be like that, so that it is kept like not brothers and sisters. Should be better. But I have seen when this happens, there is more conflict. Because they still carry on with the idea that they are from Melbourne and another from Sydney. Just I got the word. Sydney. Now the Sydney and Melbourne should not be a matter of conflict. Because as soon as they start quarreling, they say, oh, you Melbourneian, I know you are like that. She says, you Sydneyans, you are like that. And immediately you become like that and you start quarreling about it. So you must know that you are not a Sydneyan or a Melbourneian, but you are nothing but a Sahaja Yogi. And Sahaja Yogi has no caste, community or any race or any religion, or also no power of any nation. Whatever nation you come from, you are a Sahaja Yogi, you are a universal being. You are. You can feel the vibrations of anyone sitting down here, whether he is from Hawaii or from America, doesn't matter. So when you can feel about everyone, that means you are no more belonging to any community or any particular country. You are a universal being, and that's what we have to do. We have to create more universal beings. And to expedite that, we want to get these great souls on this earth. So it's a very important work. They have to be on this earth because they are the great channels for this divine work. Once they start descending on this earth, the real ones, it will all expedite. It will be such a great, you don't know, it will be such a great sudden explosion of Sahaja Yoga. You'll be amazed how it can grow faster with these people coming down. And we should try to make such arrangements that we get the real blessings of those people that they come down on this earth. It's very important. So I would request you to think about the marriage from a new angle and from new ideas by which you can really understand the value of these marriages. And then you make it a successful marriage and not a failure, a nonsense of it. That's such a great simple thing to do because you are married before realized souls. So there is no question of being just married like other people are married and then they take a nameplate on their car saying just married, and they are going to a divorce case. There cannot be such a thing for surgery. It's a serious thing. If you are not serious enough about it, better not. If you have expectations about marriage, it is better not to. It is better not to marry. Nobody is going to force you to marry. Just say, no, not at all, I'm not ready. But if you are going to go on like this, you are really be harming Sahaja Yoga in the worst possible way. It is like stabbing Sahaja Yoga from the back. So there is no need for you to get married in case you do not want to have it. On the contrary, it would be better that there are many married couples who can produce children. And they can have those great people born to them. But if you think that adjustment and all that means all kinds of these old ideas of married life, it's better that you do not get married. It's a new heavenly marriage for which you should be prepared to receive the beauty and the blessings and also the greatest of greatest, the ultimate meaning. I hope you will understand that Sahaja Yoga is emphasizing on marriages. And we do not believe in any asceticism, running away from family life. We believe that family life is the most important thing. We have to establish it very well on this earth, and that we have to see in these beautiful nests of divine love that great souls are born, and we have to continue it. There is no escape from having a very good married life. And I wish you, all of you, that you will have a very good happy married life, and those who are not married, I wish them that they also will have a very happy married life. Now I have been married, I think 36th year is this my marriage today. So many years have passed, but still I feel like a bride with my husband, because really we have been very wise people to live like that. And of course there are ups and downs, but ultimately one feels very different about the whole thing. He has sent a beautiful letter today, thanking you all for your kindness shown to me and for all the kindness you have shown to him. So we should have the puja this today as a Graha Lakshmi. You are worshipping me as a Graha Lakshmi in you, and which is very essential also to worship me as a Graha Lakshmi, because you all have a problem with your Graha Lakshmi. That's the left now. So I hope it will work out better for you, and we'll start with that puja. After this short puja that we have, then we'll start with this Devi Havan, because this we have not been able to do so far, and this is very important. We have to somehow or other manage it. Today, if possible, we should do 1,000 names. It will be a very good idea.